What is up? Let's make sure that we have everything rocking. There we go. We should be live. Let's get that shared. And we should be able to rock in. Let me get the recordings on. What is up and welcome everybody. Let's turn on some music. We got about an hour. So why not? Let's do that. Okay, so in this specific live session, let me jump in over here, documentation. Alrighty. So we're going live here. So again, what I am doing is just doing a quick live session. I just want to make sure that we have it up and running. Let's do it. Okay, let's just go for it. Okay, so welcome. Hey, so in this specific section, we're going to be covering how to organize your business in a few different ways, and we'll be building out a few different modules. I'm going to be kind of showing you the in-depth of building out some crazy modules. So let's get things rocking just a little bit. Let me bring a few more people in, so that way, again, we're in a few different places here, so that way people can actually get the value of it. Because right now, if you don't see it, you don't get value. And if you don't get value, there's no sense even doing any of this stuff. So let's do it. Can we social and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. So right now I just went live, and I'm going to show you again how to do it. So this is my screen. This is what I'm dealing with. Okay, lots of different stuff here. Okay, I have this one cut off here. All right, I have a lot of different stuff going. So right now I'm going to ask Facebook to generate a post really quick for our live. So why not? Can you build me a Facebook post for this live that is starting now? And I'll put this information in there, so it has this information in there. And then what I'll do, of course, is I'll put this link in. Here is the live link. Okay, I didn't do anything too crazy. I just asked it to do stuff. It knows my memory. So again, I'll explain why we're using Claude and why we're using a few different things. One of the biggest reasons that I use Claude, I mean, the big reasons that I use Claude is quite a few things. So the very first thing is the way in which it is structured. The way in which it's structured is freaking huge. Okay, the way in which it's structured is pretty phenomenal. The way in which it processes is pretty awesome too. And I'll show you. I'll show you how we can fulfill things like so crazy fast. I'll show you how to do those things. But let me, again, we're live, so we're running in. Hey, what's up? Yes, they did. Nothing, they just fixed it. Yep. Yeah, they got it. Anything else? No problem. Okay, we'll see ya. Bye. We're doing it live, so you get to experience the little ins and outs of different things. Again, and I'll show you a lot of what we're doing. So again, if you're coming in the channel, great. I just did a post on Facebook, so you click on the post and you can dive into it. Again, just very simple. Let's pop this up. Okay, very simple on Facebook. Just there, you can jump in, you can come and view it. So for anyone who is just coming in and attending, so what we're going to be doing is kind of organizing business, okay? And we're going to be doing it in a few different pieces, probably not the way that you think, not the way that you normally organize stuff. We're going to be leveraging AI, and you'll see how it all connects, because again, we're revamping kind of the website pieces to make it even more clear, to make people even more engaging, to make it so it's even simpler to get your stuff created. Okay, that is the whole goal. I want to get your stuff created. I want to make it so easy for you. I want to make it so it's so simple, and there's a big reason for it. The more that I can do this, the more that I can build, right? The more that I can make you grow, the more that I can do all of those stuff, guess what happens? The more that you can serve. That's it. If you can serve more people, guess what happens? Oh my goodness, right? Oh my goodness, you can do a lot better, a lot more for this world. So that being said, let's button up the tie. I don't have a tie, but we're gonna do it anyways. We're gonna dive in. So the very first thing, jump on into the website. So we're on the website right now. So this is again GFunnel. Okay, I'm gonna revamp this entire website. Like, is it right now? Does it kind of go through things? Sure, right? It does. Okay, but it doesn't really truly go over everything that we do. I mean, it's good, it's cute, right? It's great. But imagine, just for a second, imagine you had a solution that kind of did everything for you. We have to have a starting point. I know that's broad, right? But imagine you had something that you could go down a little path. We'll call it a path, right? You can go down this path, and let's say you're a business owner, and let's just say you're a business owner, you need specific services done. You're a business owner, you need specific software. You're a business owner, and you have ideas and you want to create those ideas. And let's just say you need to get those things done. Well, we have to now organize the business from start A to all the way to make sure that you're successful. And we have to do that with everybody. That sounds like the impossible task. So that's what we do. Now, how I typically have the layout to be able to do something like this, again, I'll show you how we do it, how we can build absolutely anything, okay? How we typically have our layout is like this, okay? So let me jump in. So this is my typical layout. So one piece right here, I have some notes. Let me just make sure things are deleted there. I have my notes, right? Another piece, most cases, I'll actually have, so you see this, I usually don't have my Facebook there. I mean, that's the reality. I usually have my streams on this side, right? So let's say I have a LinkedIn up here, and again, I'm just showing you. I have my social media, my content information on this right side. That's just what I do, okay? That's what I do. I have my AI always to the top right corner, okay? And then I have two platforms that I'm usually running, okay? And these platforms, I'll just show you exactly what they are. They are GFunnel. I'm running GFunnel, okay? Now what I do is I log in. So let me just log in really quick. And then we're going to start building, okay? So I have my platform. Now I have all my tools. I have all my notes. I have everything that I need to create. Everything right here, okay? That's what I do. So what this looks like for the close-up user, this is kind of what it looks like, okay? So I have my platform, right? I have all the things that I need. If I need to learn, I have my learning. If I need some actions done, meaning I need to delegate a task, I need to do what I need to do. And again, this will be changed. We're building a big command center that you'll be able to analyze and look over any and all operations, but we're just going to show you. So I have all my applications here, right? And we give you a stack of applications to get things rocking, right? We're here to take care of you. We have our learning hub for learning, our service hub for doing, right? And our partner hub for earning. Start learning, doing, earning, right? Cool, right? Kind of rhymes. So let's just dive in really quick. So now we need to direct people a specific way. And again, we'll design it because we'll go from there, because I'm going to show you, because anything and everything that I teach, usually I do for myself, okay? And a lot of this guru bullshit, I don't follow it. I don't care to follow it. I don't care to, because most cases, like, I know this sounds egotistical. I don't mean it egotistical, but they don't know what the frick they're talking about. They're just trying to sell you into another piece. This is literally a free training, free system. So use it, okay? But anyways, so we have our service departments, right? People can click in what they need help with, and they can come in and they can access stuff. We'll be adding our AI department pieces within here. So what this means is, like, let's say you need a chief marketing officer, okay? You'll be able to, of course, hire a chief marketing officer, and then our new update, you'll be able to assign an AI to it, where we'll build you a custom AI system, a custom AI backend that is now your chief marketing officer that you'll be able to simply go in and access and go in and speak to, okay? Wow, right? So, and why we're doing that is two things. Number one, most people can't afford a CMO. They can't afford it. They're starting a business, they can't afford it. Okay, but imagine, just for a sec, imagine you could afford it, but imagine you had an AI paired with a CMO. It makes that CMO superhuman. Same thing with the VP of sales, sales manager, account executive, and so on and so forth, right? See all the different positions? So imagine you can leverage these all within your Service Hub, okay? So the Service Hub will cover anything and everything related to your services. It'll cover your active tasks. It'll cover absolutely everything related, right, to these specific things, okay? Now I want to show you the new backend. I'll pop it up really quick. Might have to log into it. Let me just log in. So again, we have the easy backend, which doesn't have a lot of information, and then we have our more complex backend. Okay, more complex backend will look something like this, where we'll be able to fulfill absolutely everything, and we'll be able to give you access to absolutely everything. So if we're managing, let's say, a specific company or something, right, we can easily log into the specific company. We can easily see everything that is going on, what's been completed. We can easily assign specific team members into it. We can calculate our times within it. We can see our calendar events. We can change it. If somebody needs a different language, we can change it for them. We can access all of our projects that we're working on. We can access any and all tasks that we're going through. We can access a user story. We can access any discussions that we may have. We can access any type of notes or documentation. We can access and learn client flow. So this is like an example. We can start seeing client flow based off of how many projects are going, based upon the revenue, based upon the cash collected, right? Quite a few things that we can do. Now, that's the back end. Most people don't see the back end. They see the cute little front end. This is the little front end, right? So we build the ecosystems for those front ends. Now, I want to kind of step back a little bit and what we're doing on this, so that way I can kind of show you. On this specific side, we're modularizing this. So this way, somebody doesn't have to be inside of GFunnel if they don't desire to be inside GFunnel, right? Because this is our platform, this is our dashboard, you can be inside it. Let's just say you want to be inside your own platform, like Go High Level, Lead Connect, whatever the case is. You'll be able to embed our module within there, and you'll still be able to get complete dedicated fulfillment systems, fulfillment support, right? This is white labeled fulfillment support within your own agencies. And we do all of the work for you. The goal is to separate you from that task of crap I have to fulfill. No. You focus on the vision, you focus on the sales, you focus on those things. What do you need help with? I need help with sales. Cool, we'll handle it. I need help with product fulfillment. Great, we'll handle it. I need help with design. Great, we'll handle it. I need help with my sales, my creativity, my technology, my operations, my finances, my crap strategy. I don't know what the frick I'm doing. My teams, my supports, my HR, my AI solutions, right? My legal, my compliance. Great, that's fine. We'll do it all for you. Imagine grabbing that, taking the pressure off of individuals and making it so you, the person, can be free from all of that chaos. That's the reason why we have it. Pretty easy, right? Not too bad, right? Not too bad at all. So that is one of the pieces. And we're changing this a little bit, right? Like get started, it'll have videos, it'll have walkthroughs. You'll kind of walk through about how to get started and how to go, and it'll have the webinars, which we'll be adding here shortly. But the easy fact is jumping in here, creating campaigns, hiring, accessing resources and documents. That's the easy part, okay? That's just the Service Hub. Now we have a few different hubs. So that's the Service Hub, okay? Learning Hub. Learning Hub is similar, right? Similar, it's what do you want to learn, right? These are the main things in the business sector. Now we'll have different learning hubs based upon the different sectors. So people can, of course, access the events, of course, jump in, of course, learn whatever the freak they want. They can jump in here, they can learn about starting a business, about legal rep or legal and registrations, right? They can learn about their finances, their operations, XYZ. They can learn all of those things within the platform. Next thing is some people want to pay and make money and gain opportunity. That's our Partner Hub. Our Partner Hubs have anything from the sales script to the commission structures to how everything work. Okay, now on a big picture, let's step back. So I kind of went a little bit deep. Let's step back. Imagine you have a platform that you could grow any business the way in which you desire to grow it. You can run any operation the way in which you desire to run it. You can have $100,000+ a month salary based departments without the cost. What could you create? What would you create? Hopefully anything. That's the piece of GFunnel. But comes and takes us back to, you have to be able to organize said business. So that being said, that's what we're going to be focusing on right now. So first thing that I always do when focusing on something like that, okay, I'll do a back screen. First thing that I do is I pull up a diagram. So if you can see why I have two windows. I have two windows, so if I needed to jump into any of these other softwares, I could easily jump into any of these softwares, okay? But here's the first thing. I would need this. Next thing is I need to organize everything. Like, oh my gosh, I need to organize everything. So you see this on the right side, this is called Claude, right? Claude, right here, Claude, okay? We're gonna jump in here, jump into some projects. I'm gonna jump into a GFunnel project really quick, and we're gonna jump into a documentation. So the documentation is based upon, I mean, do I have all my documents done for my business? Like, do I have my mission statements? Do I have my vision statements? Do I have my core values? Do I have my brand story, right? Do I have my unique value proposition, or my UVP, right? Do I have my one-page strategy done? Do I have my ideal customer profiles? Do I have my competitive positioning? Do I have my legal compliance? Maybe my terms aren't done. Maybe my privacy is not done. Maybe my service agreement templates are not done. Maybe my NDAs are not done, right? Maybe, just maybe, my affiliate partner systems are not done. Maybe my sales playbook's not done. My proposal templates, my client onboarding guides. Maybe I'm missing some stuff. Well, how do we build them, right? Because there's quite a few things here. How do we get those things actually organized for us? So the first thing that I always do is pull Claude. Now I'm going to explain why Claude. Why the frig would we use this software versus any other software in the world? Okay, why would we use it? Here's one of the reasons why. Okay, so you have this specific system, but you have something called connectors, and these specific connectors can help you get connected. So like our servers and whatnot, you can help get connected to some of these things, right? Now, if I have these, so I have like Google Drive, I have my Gmails, I have these things. So if any client ever shares these things with us, now my AI technically has access to those. So jump back. If it has access to those, now what can I do? Technically, I could come in and I can have it structure all of those things. So let's dive in for a sec and let's see it. Okay, so here it is. Here's what I need. And just say, okay, perfect. So perfect. After this, I will need a division specific folders, docs, etc. Now I can come in here. Again, I'm showing you the big screen, right? I can jump in here and I can go into Gmail. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start structuring things. Let me go into actually Google Drive, right? So I can then start structuring things. Let me switch over to my different piece. Okay, I can come in here. Well, take a look. Take a look at what is kind of going on, right? So I have certain things that are now generated. You can't quite see that. I get it. You can't quite see it. But we're going to dive in a little bit deeper on here. Okay, so I have my business, and now I have specific businesses. So let's just focus on the LLC business for just a second. So we have a company overview. This is just an overview of everything that we do, right? Company overview, a documentation, right? And now we have this. So what I can probably do is I can copy this and I can say that this is currently the root where our funnel business LLC folder begins. Okay, now I can paste this, and what it should be able to do, since I have it connected, it should be able to create all those files and automatically upload and automatically organize those for me. But let's just say it does not, okay? Because that's a big task. That's like, whew, you're doing a lot. You're creating all the files that I need to create. You're creating all the documents that I need to create. Because again, we're wanting these things organized. You're creating all those things, or you're asking me questions to be able to do those. And it's like, yeah, like, okay, if it can't do it, it could give us what is called a JSON file. Now again, the information that I am sharing with you is kind of a higher end system. It's not for the beginner. I'm telling you, it's not for the beginner. But if you are a beginner, stick with me. You'll be able to see what the frig I'm talking about shortly. Okay. So next thing, so let's just jump in here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up a file really quick. So let's open up from Google Drive. Let's authorize that thing. Let's jump in here. Okay. Okay, cool. So now we're here, authorize, and then what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to jump into a onboarding. I like the onboarding. Okay, so let's just jump in quickly to an onboarding. I don't see the onboarding. Let's just see if I see it in one of these guys. Career overviews. You can tell we have a lot of stuff. Onboarding. I'll just do onboarding. Let's just see. There we go. There's our specific file for onboarding. Okay. So now we have a specific file. So this specific documentation should be only focused on onboarding. So if I don't have anything, I'm going to delete it. Okay. This is ClickUp's setup, right? Don't really need it. Okay. This is onboarding XYZ. Great. So we're going to focus here and then I'll just delete everything that we don't need. But this way we have it. Okay. So this is now our onboarding process. Okay, a little bit different. Okay, let me just kind of click this here. We're going to expand this just a little bit. Okay, so first we're going to have traffic. This is how I always start. This is what I teach. When I teach people this, I always teach everybody if you're building out the diagram. So first you have the diagram tool. How you do it is you just create a free account with GFunnel. That's how you do it, pretty easy. Next thing is you always start with traffic. The next thing you're going to have traffic. And that traffic is going to take you to a few different places. Number one is your website. Okay. Next thing are your landing pages. These work differently. Okay, so now I'm going to get down to the more simplistic pieces. These work differently. Okay. What I mean by these specific things, why these things work so differently is your website is not necessarily designed to sell or convert people. I know you're probably like, well, yes, it is. No, your website is designed to navigate. It's designed for navigation, period. Your landing pages are designed for conversion. Conversion. Does that make sense? Can somebody come in and register here? Sure, they can, right? But the best thing to do is to actually navigate them to something that is more focused on them and then lead it into the registration piece. Okay, so now why do I have these two versus one? Like, so the reason that I have stuff like this, right, so you can see it, is because now things can be added to this, right? So one thing could be organic, right? Organic reach. That can be an entire operation. Another operation can be your paid. So your paid reach, we'll just call it that. Your paid reach is another operation. Okay. You can even have your direct reach. Okay. Your direct reach is basically like you're sending them a message and you're directly connecting to them. Okay. Pretty easy. And then of course you can have your, we'll put partner reach. Okay. And we're just going to keep it there just for simplicity, okay? We'll call that traffic. Each one of these, in a sense, runs their own operation or their own organization. Does that make sense? So you can have vendors do all of this for you if you desire to do this. You don't have to, but you can, okay? But these things are going to drive traffic into here, right? And then of course you're going to have some type of tracking. So we'll put a little dot here, put it on the outside here. Okay. cute little dot, right? And I would put the tracking all the way through the system. But you don't have to say, oh, it's going through the system. Like there's paths for it, if that makes sense. And I'll explain it. So for instance, like if I'm marketing on and tracking on Meta, Meta has something called a pixel. And if I do a pixel, Meta is going to sell my user traffic to other people. That's what Meta does, okay? So we'll just put a tracking. So there's a strategy to tracking. There's multiple variables within here. Like for instance, there's data based on how many organic reaches. There's metrics from here. There's metrics on here. There's metrics on here. There's metrics on here. There's metrics on how much is coming to here. There's metrics and data on how much is coming to here and here. There's metrics on what conversion is coming to here. There's metrics on every little piece. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to do something a little interesting. So the website, I know most people, they go crazy with the website, as we did. I mean, we went crazy. Here, I'm gonna log out really quick. Let me log out. We went a little crazy. Look how big our page is. Right? We went a little crazy. We're trying to solve a problem. We're trying to sell somebody. That's kind of done wrong. Because how do we know what we're selling? We don't. Fully, right? So we have to do a few different things. Okay. So I'll give you some comparisons of what are some good ones to do. So let's go really quick to DoorDash. Let's just compare, right? Because whenever you're building and organizing and doing these first steps, of course, again, we have the folders building, but you always want to compare and contrast different things. So they have a landing page. They have a kind of middle ground. But then their goal is, let's get you to sign up. Let's get you to register. Let's get you in there. Okay? That's the very first thing. Let's do a pop-up to get you registered, because if we get you registered, then you're ready to go. Right? Perfect. That's perfect. Why not? Then somebody can go to the next stages, and then those next stages can have specific steps. That's great. Makes sense? That's great. Okay. So, why not do the same thing? So the first thing, traffic comes in, there's a landing page, right? And they have their sign up. There's this quick, right? That was so quick. It was like just quick, right? So we'll just do this on the website. Quick sign up, creates an account, creates the profile, right? And then we'll have our registration. Registration, we can call this like onboarding, we can call this whatever the case it is, right? But they have this little quick, and I'm gonna make it a little smaller so it's like that. Okay. They have this quick little pop-up, which is freaking awesome. Okay. So little sign up, which is awesome. And then it just keeps them on that same page, which is cool, right? Great. So now we have this thing that kind of works, right? I'm going to just make this a little bit bigger. There we go. And bring this guy up so it matches. Okay. So that is one thing that they do. I come in here. They have their buttons, sign in, log in, right? Sign up. So let's say I say sign up. Pop up really quick. Let's just say I jump in, I log in. Let's say I do allow, right? Because you wouldn't even think about those things. And now there I go. I'm signed up. But if you notice, nothing really happened. So let's refresh this. On the same page. So they have an error there. Right? Now their system worked, because now it's saying, okay, now you're in an account. Let's continue forward. Right? That's fair. That's easy. Right? So now they're in an account. Let's continue forward. Now, what do they have? They have an action step. Enter your address. You get your first delivery fee for that. It's like, you want to get started right now? Let's create your first XYZ. Then they have a few different options. Become a Dasher. Become a merchant. Get the best DoorDash experience. Download our app. So there's 3 different avenues. Why? It's because you're either going to deliver or order food, right? Order food. Or you're going to drive their food, or you're going to sell food, right? 3 options, they push you. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of compare those specific things. So we have our website here, right? Our website will be its own thing. So what we're going to do is we're just going to create a new variable to get that variable down a little bit. So we're going to call this one website. Okay. And then what we're going to do, we're going to then connect this guy. So what I would do is I would do a link. Okay. I would connect this guy to website and I would press OK. So this way, if I'm going to click on here, right, I'm going to click, it's going to take me to my website. Okay. That's how I do it. Next thing that we need is landing pages. We're going to have multiple pages, right? So we're going to have landing pages. I can leave it there for now if we want, but I'm going to move it forward. Okay, website, landing pages. Okay, so now I can come here and I can link this guy to landing pages. Okay, right, very easy to click, now very easy to navigate, very easy to access. Okay, I can even say, well, my Google module, how do I want my Google module to work, right? I can connect that to account setup, right? Account setup module, so I can say setup. I can connect this one now to account setup. There you go. So now if I need to dive deeper in the process, I dive deeper. So again, how does this help with organization? So first thing is I'm writing a blueprint of anything and everything that goes on in this process. See, this is a blueprint, right? A blueprint that goes over our agreements, a blueprint that does all of these other things. It's a blueprint. That's all I'm doing. I'm going through and I'm building out a blueprint of stuff. Does that make sense? Okay. Then I can come in and I can say, okay, well, what is each one? How does it work? I can grab all this information and I can always copy it over to my AI and have my AI start building out metrics, okay? That being said, we're gonna dive a little bit deeper, okay? So let me back up, boom, okay? Back up, okay? I have this, I'm drawing out these diagrams. On the right side here, I have these documents that are now created. Let me look at the current, again, Google Drive, because that's what we're talking about, Google Drive structure to see if there's any help in your plan division. I can see you have division, organization, folder in your root. Let me check the division, that. So then it checked the division. Here's the current based on your Service Hub snapshot, which shows 9. Here's what I recommend, right? So division name, that. Your division, this, okay? So now these are the divisions. Ready when you are. So I'd say, okay, let's get creating all of the folders first. Then let's start adding the needed documentation. Okay, I'm not doing anything too crazy. I'm literally telling AI to say, that's what we knew. Like, we're going to organize the business, and I'll bring up the business so you can see it. And you're going to help me organize it and make it even better. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So now it's going to do that. So now, again, why is this important, right? Oh, I do not have the ability to do X, Y, Z. I can only search read. However, I can give you a complete structure of that. So we're going to skip stuff. So it says it can't do it, but here's the structure. How about this? Let's create a system within N8N that builds and structures this. Then let's organize the specific documentation for this. This way we can give this process to businesses who sign up for GFunnel and help them begin their organizational processes. Does this make sense? And I always ask that question at the end of AI. Does this make sense? Okay. So now what's going to happen, it's going to start organizing systems, projects, everything. And you'll notice it'll say this. Perfectly aligns with the message. Entrepreneurs fail because of the lack of organized processes. You'd be able to give new clients a ready-made business operations structure on day one. Let me check the workflows and let me design this for you. So now it's going to design this, okay? So there we go. Yes. Next, we will need to create a system that automatically helps organize and log everything. Purposes. So now what I'm doing is anything that I'm creating right now, I'm teaching the AI to create for people, okay, based off of systems and based off of structures. So now why is this important? So let's just say, again, we'll build this out in our navigation, but let's just say you're a business, you have an idea, you have something, there's chaos. The key is, what if you sign up with something, then all of a sudden it asks for a little bit of information, and then it creates everything for you? That is the key, okay? That is what we do, okay? So that being said, let's dive back in, okay? So that's the key, that's what we focus on, and that's what we're gonna do, okay? So now let's just make sure it's organized correctly. So again, I'm gonna jump back to this one. Exactly, you're building a self-organized, AI-ready business operations system. Here's the complete vision, XYZ. This, GFunnel operation, organizes the that. Master business, registration, this, documentation, this. Awesome. Let's build the entire thing. So we can add the JSON to N8N. Also, we'll need instructions. So we can either help businesses organize, or connect directly to them and do it for them, which is my favorite. Okay, so now what I'm telling the AI to do basically, okay, and again, I'm just focusing on the organization side of the business, and you'll see what the relevance is. Like, again, we're going over some chaos here. It's some craziness. I get it, right? We work pretty quick on this stuff. But we're going to build out the entire system. So, I mean, this is my goal. During sign up, somebody says, sync their Google Drive. They sync their Google Drive, and then we go and we create all of the folders and everything for them. So that way, each and everything is organized for them. Each and everything can be documented for them, and they have accesses to their own stuff. They don't need our stuff. They have accesses to their very own stuff. That's the key, right? Build your organization. Now you have it. Okay. That being said, so now what it's doing is it's building those specific things. All right. So you have the master JSON configurator, the brain. You have all of the templates of the documentation and the content. You have the implementation guides, so the do-it-yourself guides, and the done-for-you onboarding for the team. So again, when somebody comes in, and I'll let it know, I'll say what my goal is. My goal is to do all of this during onboarding. This way we can capture the needed information, connect to their account, and begin creating and adding all of the needed files. Leveraging their Google storage to our operation, our business system operation. So now what I'm doing here, so this way you understand the logic of this. So we'll jump into, there's a registration form. Let's just see if I have account set up. Well, this is a bad example, so I'm just going to delete it. It's a waste of time in my opinion. Okay, and I'm just going to jump into this guy right here. So we have registration, right? There's a registration piece. We'll call it onboarding. So I'll just call this one onboarding. Okay, so within the onboarding step, so again, these specific individuals, they're coming into our world now. Okay, so we're going to put this as our world. Now they're in our world. That's what that line means. And then from there, we're going to have a kind of like an onboarding survey. Okay, so onboarding survey. Okay, then what we're going to have, once the onboarding survey is done, we're going to have a connection, system connector. So we have the onboarding survey where we gather the needed information. From there, we have a system connector where we interconnect everything, right? And then we have a processor. And this processor is going to act. It's going to do everything, okay? So I'll just put action. Again, this analogy is data in, I guess it's processes, but then it's going to be the deliverer. I'll just do it like this because there's going to be two of them. Processor, and this is all working in the back end. So let me go over the kind of the visuals for these people. Okay, so I'm going to put little dots here because whenever I draw, I want these specific little dots connected to show that it's actually process in the back end. It's not the client flow. It's process in the back end. So this is all process in the back end that's running. Okay. So this is process in the back end that's running. Okay. System connector. Actually, sorry, this would be the correct one. My apologies. My apologies. That is correct. System connector would then jump into an MCP server connector hub. Just do that. So now we can connect into their softwares, right? Softwares, the databases, all of those things. I mean, to be able to build for somebody really quick, that's the easiest way to do it. Now, they can have unique things like, oh, we don't want you to see XYZ, and we can always adjust those things, right? We can always adjust the metrics and adjust the scopes. That's it. So boom, system connector, boom. Then the next piece, right, is the organizer. So we'll just call this the organizer. So the organizer is based on what type of information that you put in, right? This is who you are. You're this business. You're this person. You're XYZ. And then it's going to direct them to a specific place. So now we have this, and we have this. Okay, the organizer is, in a sense, going to give them that custom experience. Okay, so now we have a few things. So this is where, this is, in a sense, think of it as like a distribution. They're coming in, we're going to organize them. Now we're going to be in getting started. Getting started here, getting started here, or getting started here. Okay, based off of where they're at, it's going to be very unique to each and every single person. Meaning if somebody's going to be coming into the platform, they get all of their files, all of their documentations, everything absolutely done for them, completed, right, for them. And then it's just like, okay, are you ready to start building your own business? That's an education side. Are you ready to have us do it for you? That's more of a service side. Or again, are you ready? You already have the teams, you already have everything, you're just ready to use our systems to scale, right? So a few different metrics, a few different things that we're focusing on, okay? That's this system, basically, okay? And that's what we're going to be focusing on. So now that we do that, they will also have their main hub. So again, they come in, get started here, get started here, get started here. At any time, they're going to have their own, this is their dashboard, kind of that main hub dashboard. Anytime they can come into that dashboard, from that dashboard, they could then get started into any of these metrics. Does that, hopefully that makes sense. Any metrics that is assigned to them. And now if they ever log in, right, as like a system here, I'll just actually delete this for easy sake. If they ever log in, so let's just say this is the data. So I'll just put traffic. Okay. And then they log in. Log in. Okay. And again, if you're watching this and you're like, oh, this is kind of boring. Yes, this is called process engineering. Can be boring. I like it. Can be boring, but it allows us to build out any processes. So again, it allows us to come in and build specific processes for specific people. That's what it allows us to build. Some really neat stuff. We can build anything custom. So for example, on that side, what we were doing, okay, if you notice, I'm going to, in a sense, structure this so it's done. But if you notice, this is what now the AI has created for us. It's created the configuration, the done for you implementation list. So if I jump in here, right, this is exactly what they have to do and how they have to implement it, right? It'll create the workflows. These are all the workflows, right? So that way we have all the workflows in there. We have the decision log templates, right? So there'll be a decision log. This is where data will be stored in a database, right? We would have the business registration pieces, the documentation registration pieces, the meeting registration pieces if there's meetings, and again, any type of SOPs. And if we're able to integrate somebody into those things, it's all pre-done. What I mean by that, it all being pre-done, so imagine you have a system that is literally completely pre-done. It automatically documents all of your SOPs. It automatically organizes the entire business. It automatically logs everything that you're doing. And it does that in such a way that when the AI is ready to speak with you, it knows your business. So that way when you speak to the AI and you say, hey, it's not just talking to your database, but it's talking to your operation. Your AI is talking to your entire operation, and it's doing things, it's executing, it's doing the things that it needs to do. If you need to run a marketing campaign, it knows every aspect of your marketing campaign, from all of the trends that are happening to all of the content that worked in the past and what will work best. And it'll not only tell you the advice, but if you decide that you want to go down that route, it'll do it for you. That's GFunnel. That's what we're building here. Crazy, crazy stuff, right? But why I'm showing you these lives is I'm showing you how we do it. How we do it is based off of systems and processes. It's based off of this organization. Because again, when somebody comes in, I want them to come in for a specific reason. When they come in for a specific reason, I want to make it so it's so easy for them to ask a few questions, to integrate their systems, and then from there, the system goes to work. It starts creating files for them. It starts doing those things. Of course, those will be in our terms, and they'll have to accept it, right? But imagine it starts creating files. It starts organizing things for you. Imagine it starts doing all the things that you need it to do for you. And then it determines what you do have and what you don't have. It's interesting, right? Welcome to GFunnel. Okay, so that being said, that's what this is doing. I just wanted to give you an overview. Now I'm going to give you some tips and tricks and things that we do to help fulfill some of these things. So again, I'm just showing you structures. So we come in, we always blueprint stuff, even for ourselves, right? For any clients that we have, we will blueprint stuff. So we'll come in here and we'll literally come in and blueprint every single process for people. That's what we do, okay? Then, of course, what we do is we organize all of the tools, all the resources, and everything for people. We organize everything. That's the goal. Make it so it's super easy for anyone to use anything, for anyone to grow. Like, for instance, we had a client that's like, hey, I need a user dashboard built for my cells or my phone company, right? My caller, my dialers. We can go in and we can build out the entire dashboards, the entire operations, the way in which the data flows, and every aspect of that, we can build that out within GFunnel, right? But we follow the same process. We build these things out, and then what we do is we have it connected, right? And what I mean by connected, I'll show you in just a second. So we have it connected into a portal, and this portal, let me just log in really quick. The specific portals, it would be like something like this, and I'll just show you. We would have a company, so let's just say this is a company. I'll bring it on screen, right? We would then organize whatever is used here. So this specific company, they have what's called an unlimited plan. An unlimited plan just means that we cover resources and everything in a sense in an unlimited fashion, meaning unlimited projects, unlimited tasks, unlimited services, okay? We then organize it, of course, anything that's done in his backend, so it's easy. And then of course we have it in our backend, something like this. And how we fulfill it, I'll step back a little bit. How we fulfill it is typically we'll come in, we'll understand everything. So we'll draw out the processes, we'll understand everything. And then we use the softwares we have to execute things extremely quick. And when I mean extremely quick, like for instance, somebody needs a specific website, okay? I'll just show you as an example, okay? We would jump into one of our software. So again, we can come into here, I can jump into here, and we have a software connection in here called Lovable. We'd click on Lovable. Lovable is like a design agency piece. And then what we can do is we can give it information, and then from that information, I'm not signing there, but from that information, we could, so I'll explain the exact process. First, we record it. We transcribe it all. Next, once we record and transcribe everything, we also have a diagram. We grab all of that information, including anything and every resource that they have, hopefully within their Google Drive, right? So it's connected. If not, we still grab any and all resources that they have. We plug it into our system. From that specific piece, now we have an interconnection to build. So we grab that information, we plug it in there, we let our AI know it's a new project, so we build out a brand new project. So I'll just kind of show you in the small. We would build out a brand new project. From that brand new project, we would then have specific tasks. These would be specific tasks. So let's say we're trying to make a landing page better. From there, we can come in and we can insert the right and needed information. We can ask and answer specific questions based off of prompt engineering. It will then give us an output of what exactly needs to be done. All of the details based upon what was discussed in the meeting, based upon what we drew, based upon all of the data that we have. It'll give us a detailed system of what to do and how to structure it. We then grab that detailed MD file, markdown file, and we plug it into other softwares such as Lovable. We have quite a few softwares depending on the needs of the client. From those specific sides, we do anything from build out the websites to design presentations to, I mean, there's a big list on it, which again, if you're thinking about it, to any and all of these services. Web development, funnel building, CRM configuration, email marketing setup, automated workflows. We can build out campaigns for them. We can manage the complete social media, all the content. We can do all of the marketing like paid advertisement, etc. We can do all of the analytics and reporting. We offer white label services on any of these things. We do blueprint sessions on everything too. So we in a sense can do those things, which we're adding more services because of our capabilities. But we can do that in a quick fashion. So let's just say somebody starts and they have 40 hours. Usually, what takes a company, individuals, 3 weeks to complete we can now complete within a few hours because of the way in which we have our processes, the way in which we're organized, the way in which we build stuff like this. Very, very powerful for companies. And on a price point that anyone can afford, anyone who's just starting their business or a business that is scaling. So that being said, I showed you a little bit of how we organized it. Now what I'm going to be doing, so as this big screen, I'm going to be placing together all of these folders, all of these structures, and everything else, right? Just like this. I'm going to be placing these together, and this is what we do. I'll show you, okay? I'll show you pretty easily. So I come into here. Let's jump into here. Let's jump into mission partner agreements. Where is the JSON for creating all of the needed folders? Can I have it? Question mark. I'll just show you. So I jump in here. We're going to jump into this guy right here, which is our API hub or N8N. Okay. I'm going to log into N8N. Okay. So now I'm logged into N8N. Most cases I'll log into a folder section. In the folder section, I'll jump into the operations side. And that side, I'm going to jump into organizations, right? We have a Google Drive organizer. Okay. I'm going to create a new workflow. Okay. This is now the new workflow. As soon as this guy is done, right? So I say, please create a JSON file. I want to ensure have all of the folders needed. Have an organizational folder within every nice things. Okay, so now it's going to, again, I'm just going to show you it. So it'll do it. And then as soon as this guy is done, we're going to add it in. So here's the structure, name, templates, that, email templates, that. So here's the main folders, foundational strategy, that. Let's just make sure I want those things. We went away from what was being okay, let's just see. Okay, and then once this is done again, we're going to plug it into N8N. And all I have to do on N8N is import it. How I import it, once it's completely done and it's structured the exact way that I want, I'll simply come here, I'll import the file, and then from the file, it'll be a JSON file. I'll import that JSON file, and the entire structure and processes and everything that we have should be created within here. So that way we have it. See, it's a lot longer than what we had prior. Okay, let's expand it even more because we didn't quite get it. That's the thing of AI. AI, you talk to it, dive deep, talk to it, dive deep, talk to it, and then from there, you build it. And then as soon as it is done, we're going to test it, and then we're going to be working to give it to the entire market. And then if we want to store everything, let's just check. So we can do 4 terabytes. We can always increase our storage as well as needed. So not an issue. And again, a task like this, it used to take weeks to organize and weeks to build. Now we can do it within like an hour or so, and we can build out these things like crazy. And then we can compile it. So as long as we're thinking in module form, meaning as long as we're thinking this way right here, that each and every piece is a module, that each and every piece is a module or a process that can be built and expanded upon. As long as we're thinking that way, we can then build upon it, meaning I can build out advanced SOPs and systems and processes for, let's say, organic reach, right? I'll just zoom in so you can see, for organic reach. Now you can easily use these same systems. You can usually add these systems, implement these systems right into you, and then you can scale as well. That's kind of how this thing works. So that way, anything and everything that's created, let's say you create something, we can actually have it added, and we'll put a positive feedback loop in our system too. But you can possibly, or you can add it, and then from there, we're in a sense all growing together. Okay, and we can make sure that the data and whatnot is divided. So this way, operations are building, right? They're building correctly, but the data is being kept private, right? And then once you understand these systems, then you'll understand how Google works. This is how Google works when they're storing those clouds and doing those type of things. They work a very similar way. And eventually, if you're like, hey, we want to separate from Google, all we have to do is create local storage and we can do just that. They just do a lot of storage. So that being said, you build the infrastructure. From there, you decide where you want it. In this case, we're going to use Google. In the future, we can always back up Google and push it somewhere else. But that way we can get entire infrastructures, entire systems built within. So that being said, I covered a lot. I know it's been complex, and I know it's not been one of those beginner type walkthrough systems, right? But what we did, and I'll share a few different pieces. I'll create an article and share a few different pieces with you so you can get this exact structure. I'm going to very much see if I can get, let me just see if I can get this into a usable form for you, right? Because if I can get this into a usable form for you, then you can just copy and paste exactly all of the work that we did, right? That's just the organization. Again, we were talking about organization of documentation, organization of the business structures, organization of how all of those things work, which is, again, still right here. It's this entire JSON file. If you're like, I don't know, this is in a sense what it looks like. So if you're looking down here, I'll actually bring it up on the screen. So this is exactly what it looks like. So if you're looking here, right, this is more so of what it would look like. So that way you have an idea. So let me embed it. It should be a big file. Maybe. Let's try it again. Is it too big? Let me just make sure. Seems the JSON is not importing into N8N. So if you give me just a second, we'll re-get the document. But basically, there'll be a document, right, of everything that we built. Again, this is just a way to organize any business ever that uses Google as like a chance of organization, which I would highly recommend. And then we can connect this. You can connect this into your onboarding process if you want, right? Great, it's yours. You can use ours, great, because we'll be implementing it. Where we're going to be implementing it is right here. I'm going to show you the exact piece. Okay, so traffic comes into our website. So again, let's say I'm here. Right, let's jump over to the home page. Right, let me log out really quick with this guy. So let's say this is the home page. We can make this look different, doesn't matter. The home page is navigation. So again, to restate what I was talking about, the home page is navigation. It's not really designed to convert people. The landing pages are designed to convert people. That's how you interconnect it. This is to navigate people based off of who they are, what they are, those type of things. That's what the home page is for, as well as some SEO value to bring people to the conversion pieces. The landing page is your sales cycle, right? But what we're going to be doing is that same thing. So they're here, right? You can do the same thing. They're there. Then we're bringing people into the registration piece. So once the account's created, so similar to what we have, start for free, right? We have an account creation piece. We're going to just do it a little bit different, right? Where it's created. To an onboarding piece, there's going to be an onboarding survey, which again, this is that piece that I just went over. You have your survey, you have your system connectors, which connect to your MCP, MPC, it could be MPC, I'm dyslexic sometimes, but it'll be connecting into all of the client software, all of their Google Drives, all of their data, everything. That's what this thing's going to be, because it's going to be used very, very much in the future, right? Which will have an open source server that people can use for that. Then it connects all of their softwares, all of their accounts, and then it brings it over to the organizer, brings them to the specific getting started pages. During this time, it then comes in and it creates that big thing that we just went over, right? Like the organized piece, which again, I'll step back. This big piece, right, with all the files. Again, I'll just show you it. Hopefully this one, it works. So it comes back and it creates this big piece, which, let me jump in, which will then help every single business that you deal with organize their operations there's a few reasons. Because first, nobody's organized. Nobody freaking does anything, right? But why this will help them, right? And maybe they already have it, but why this will help if they do not have it. There we go. Okay. If they do not have it, so we have these loops, right? And I'll just make sure that these loops, alrighty, log. Okay, so we log those. Okay. I'm just checking these loops. Okay. Generate structure loop. Cool. So again, I'll give you guys this JSON. If you want this JSON, just let me know. Like, again, easy to reach me. Just create an account in GFunnel. Just say, hey, Cam, I need this. And then, again, I'll just add it to your account. What that means is you create accounts free, right? It's free. You can come in. You can just find me, message me. I mean, you could easily just jump into your profile, right? You can look at your notifications. It'll show that you connected with me in our platform. It'll show that. And you can just simply ask me right here if you want, or ask me on Facebook, or ask me on YouTube. It doesn't matter. Just ask me, email me, cam@gfunnel.com, and say, Cam, I want that. And then what I'll do is I'll just share it to your profile so you have your JSON file, right? Of course, in the future, I'll create an article and step-by-step and all those things. But for now, I'll just give you your JSON file. You can download it. You can either plug it in your own N8N, or we give you an N8N, so you can plug it into yours. Then once you have this, if you want to build your own onboarding, you have your own onboarding. If you want to say, screw that, I don't need my own onboarding, I'm just going to do it. Just remove this front piece, right? Because it's just a data capture. Remove that front piece, and then sure enough, you should have that entire system here. I'll test it beforehand to make sure it's good. And then the setup steps will be easy. I mean, once it's here, you just like connect your Google Drive here. In the future, we'll have, again, just a whole, the MCP server that will automatically connect, to automatically integrate, and automatically create all these folders and files for you. But just right now, because if you can see, I mean, we just developed it on freaking spot, right? If you can see, it's not there. So you can just download the raw file. But eventually it's going to be there as soon as you create your account. It's going to create all those folders. Now, here's the big reason. This is the big reason why we even do this. Like, does it work for integrations? Yes, it does, right? Like, does it work for those things? Of course. Yes, it's cool, right? It's cool. But this is the this is the big reason why we do it, right? Whether or not you're serving clients or not, right? Let's say you didn't want to go through that craziness and you just shared a drive, a dedicated drive with your assets to us, right? Same thing will happen. But the hardest part is communication. That's one, communicating to the people that we're serving to make sure that we understand their ideas correctly. That's number one, right? The second thing is once we communicate and we're on the exact same page, meaning we're just like them, we're the shoulder to shoulder, the partner to grow them, right? And we want to serve them. Once we're at that piece, then we need to make sure we have accesses to the right resources to be able to create what these people desire, right? And that's why that access is very important. The access is important. So that way, if somebody sends a request, so again, let's just say they're in here. I'm just give you an example. And they're like, hey, Cam, right? Like, I'm running an operation. I need to generate new revenue. I need to do a campaign. I want you guys to do it for us. And they fill out this information. They submit it. And let's just say that's it. That's all they do. Maybe they put a video, which I hope they put a video here, right? But maybe that's just what they do, right? It allows us to have all of the resources, all of the branding material, anything and everything that they ever want, what they're currently working on, if it's something that's currently on their scope. So we know we're as close to reading their mind as possible, because again, there's still a gap, but we're as close as reading their mind as possible. Then what we do is very simple. Once we're that close, we can execute. And when we execute, we can use the softwares and systems that we have to empower AI to execute, as well as for us, the manual human, to execute. What I mean by that is they want a website. We know exactly the website that they want and they need, and we design it the first time. And maybe there's small little tweaks. If they want this complete automation system that's connected to their database and XYZ, we can have all of that stuff developed in such a fraction of the time. Instead of it being like 3 weeks, we can now do it in like an hour. Like, that's the crazy shift. And then we can come in and we can deliver these things. So again, we do have people that come in and they're paying, right? Their service plans. They're paying this type of amount, right? They're paying the $1,500, the $5,000, $6,000. They're paying this stuff, and they're like, oh, I'm only getting 40 hours, which is like $30 roughly an hour, somewhere there. But the value in which they're getting is like, it would normally cost an average VA that's making like, let's say $4 or $5 an hour. It normally costs 3 weeks of service let's just say 3 weeks of service for them to complete that, which then ends up costing, let's say it's like, I don't know, $500 or $1,900 or something. We can do about $2,000 worth of really like deliverable value, $2,000 within about 10 hours, if that makes sense. So like a website that's normally like, hey, this website's normally like $1,000, right? We can deliver a website in like an hour and a half, when normally it would cost 3 weeks in time to deliver that website. We can get it completely done within about an hour and a half with all of the details and everything that is needed, like everything. That's the power of what we're creating here. And if we can create it, again, successfully, again, we have all of the softwares, the systems, the tools, and everything that everyone would need. But let's just say you're a reseller. You're a person that makes money on those things. You can resell yourself. All right. So that being said, that's my live. Hopefully it was enjoyable. Hopefully you got enough things and it wasn't too crazy. That being said, my name is Cameron Garlick. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. Thanks so much. We'll see you. Bye.